This is going to be our next project. So everybody needs to make a little signboard like this. If you already have one or your parents don't want one, you can make one for a teacher at school. So you make one for Mr. Kinsey, Mrs. Bessler, Mr. Lundberg, any of the people in the office. If you're going to make one for someone else, make sure you double check the spelling of their name on the internet, on their webpage, okay? So this is made out of maple. It's a really easy project. You're going to work with a partner. You're going to start with the board that's 12 inches by 3 inches. It's going to be surfaced on all 6 sides. So you have a board 3 inches by 12 inches. Half is going to be yours and half is going to be your partner's. You're going to rip on a 15-degree angle. So that's going to be a bevel cut, 2 inches off. So when you rip, it's going to be 2 inches wide at a 15-degree bevel this way. And then your offcut of that 15-degree bevel right there is going to come off. That'll give you your sign, the beveled angle. This right here goes on the back like that. And all you do is glue and clamp it on. Here's my board, again 12 inches by 3 inches, surfaced on all sides. I set the bevel on my table saw on the side right here, and I can read the angle of 15 degrees on the front. I set that bevel. Make sure the blade's going to be high enough to cut through this maple, just by a little bit. Now I'm going to set my fence on 2 inches. Guards are in place. I got my push stick ready. I'm making my bevel. All the way through past the blade. There's my 15-degree bevel. It'll sit on the table like this. Here's my offcut right here. It actually has a complementary angle of 75 degrees. And because this is a complementary angle, it's going to go right there. Cross cut at 6. Okay, now let's go laser. So this is a key concept here. Here's my offcut with the 15-degree bevel. This is 6 inches by 2 inches. This is the way my name's going to go on there, right? So I have to put in the laser engrave like that with the bevel edged up. This has to be the top. So this just goes in here, in the top left-hand corner, and we'll go laser engrave. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go Start menu, Programs. I'm going to go to Corel Draw X4, and I open up Corel Draw. The way I do this in Corel Draw, I go File, New. This is my piece of paper. I want that paper the size of my piece of wood, so I go up to Layout, Page Setup. Again, that piece of wood is 6 inches wide and 2 inches high. So I make my piece of paper the size of my board. Over on the left here is my text tool. I select text. I make the largest box I can, and I type in there whatever I want to type in, Mr. Kinsey. Then once his name's typed in there, I highlight it. I select the font I want while it's highlighted. You can use any font you want. That looks good. And then I'm going to select my font size and kind of fill a page. So there's Mr. Kinsey and 72 font. I'm all done. I go File, Print, VLS 2.3, I hit Print. That doesn't actually run it, that just exports it to the laser engraver. I open up the laser engraver. This is my relocation tool. I click on that. I click on the center button right here, and I want this centered on my board that's 6 by 2. So it's going to go over 3 by 1, enter, and now it's centered on my board. I go to Settings. That is a natural wood material. It is a hardwood, specifically maple. I check the thickness with the calipers, and it's 0.8125. Apply, yes, okay. And now I'm ready to print. I hit the green button. As long as all of the vacs are set up correctly, I hit the green button. So my wood's in the laser engraver, the vacs are set up correctly, I hit the green button.
Okay.
Okay, we're all done laser engraving, and here's our block of wood. Let's go over here and glue it up. So here's our block of wood. fine layer of glue behind it there where I glue that piece on. I'm going to use these red clamps because it's going to be hard to hold it together unless the clamp head bevels as well. So I'm going to clamp it up, make sure I'm flush on this side and flush on the back side.
Okay.
I'm all done clamp. It's dried for 1 or 2 hours. After it's been clamped up for 1 or 2 hours, it's pretty flush, but I want to make sure it's perfectly flush. I'll go with a belt sander. Okay, then the last step, I'm going to router 3 of the edges, but not the 4th. When it sits down on the tabletop, you want it flush. So I'm only going to router 1, 2, 3 sides, making sure that router bit is very low, using a hold down stick, fingers far away from that cutter. Fingers never on the edge, I'm routering. Beautiful sign. So try it on your desktop.